Welcome to the spot. It's time to ignite. Oh yeah. Operation Hangout. The feeling's just right. Chilling with the crew. We're ready to groove. Opinions flying high. Come on, let's move. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Pull up a chair, let's get in the zone. Voices blending smooth like a funky trombone. Oh yeah. Topics from the heart, making us think. With a twist and a shout, raise up your drink. Cheers. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Bring it down, shake it up, feel the beat. With every word we share, the circle's complete. Living loud, think it proud, that's what we do. Oh yeah. Join the club, come on through, we're waiting for you. Alright. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Hang out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spartan HQ Network, a special edition of blah, blah, blah. Let's try that again, and maybe I can talk properly. A special edition of the Operation Hangout Show. Of course, I cannot do this by myself. I gotta bring my man of the hour in. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President.
You're all over yourself tonight. I get it. I mean, Michelle comes in and you just lose it. I mean, I totally get it. I mean, I was looking at just preparing for the show and seeing her background and whatnot. I was like, wow. I mean, this is exciting. I'm fired up for this. I'm fired up for this interview.
I'm excited. I can jump out of my seat if I had a standing desk. You see me jumping, but I don't want to destroy the stream, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
So, let's get her in here. What do you think?
Absolutely. Let's go.
I know I said I want to do so. You know what? I'll give you the privilege this time. Go for it, my man.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, certainly for the Sparta HQ Network and certainly on this show, we've had the privilege of interviewing all types of people, different backgrounds, cosplay actors, authors of books and whatnot. But I think we've landed certainly a big one tonight. Michelle Danner, actress, producer, creator. She's been an acting coach for years. I mean, she's basically been on both sides of the camera. She's basically had touch on every aspect of the business. She's had some films, which I'm definitely stoked up of seeing, putting some on my watch list this weekend. So this is going to be really exciting. Just so you guys are really in for a treat tonight, as far as being able to really get a good perspective on what it takes to be in this business and to make movies and films and whatnot and be on the creative process. So I'm very excited. So certainly without any further ado, please welcome to Operation Hangout, Michelle Danner to the show. Hopefully I did a good job. Hopefully I didn't sweat. I may have to come to you get some lessons so I can brush up on it. But I'm like Pete. I was kind of like my mouth was getting kind of dry and whatnot. And I was like, wow, this is great. So again, welcome to Operation Hangout. It's great to we just thank you for being with us tonight. But how you doing? And I understand you're in a nice kind of tropical place right now.
Yes, I'm in Hawaii, except the sun is not shining. But thank you for
Listen,
having me. Um,
Listen, we're in. Well, I know you've spent some time in New York, so again, you know what the weather's been like right now. So I'll take wet Hawaii over. It's still 40 degrees outside now. I'm trying to put my coats away and I can't. So I would take rainy Hawaii over cold New Jersey any day of the week. So I'm still in me.
okay,
So
me too. I'll take rainy Hawaii
This
over
year's weather's
anything.
this
You
year's
know,
oh,
been a weird
it's
weather.
always
Like,
fun to be
yeah,
around.
oh,
I'm originally from Greece, and I'm so used to at this point sweating, putting your t-shirts on, shorts on at this point. But nope, Mother Nature's going to swing a bipolar on us. But
absolutely.
we always start with a one major question. What is your relationship with acting in Hollywood in general? Let's start with that one.
I love it. I love that I get a chance to tell stories in Hollywood, and I'm also, as you mentioned, I'm an acting teacher. But when you make a movie, you're playing to that very big classroom, the
Mhm.
biggest classroom that you can have access to, and so therefore, um, I love it. I mean, it's got its ups and downs and obstacles, and it's not
Hmm.
easy. And sometimes you pull your hair out and you're frustrated, but and a
Right.
lot of the time it's exhilarating and it's fun and it's exciting when you kiss 100 frogs and one prince says yes. So
That's
that's,
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Is
that's
that,
the fun
So
part. But you have
my
to be
follow-up
yeah.
able to
question.
withstand all the
Mhm.
rejection and all the no's.
Yeah.
That has been
Yeah.
the hardest part in saying here no, 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 no. And when you get the one yes, you're jumping for joy. You're like, I finally
Yeah.
scored one.
Yeah. And
Yes,
that,
So
and
that's
that's
right.
that's I think in life that's like the biggest thing, right? I mean, I don't care if you're in business, or just people just trying to get just resumes. Like I've known so many people, I've sort of coached some people through that, and it's amazing. Okay, you get 2 or 3 resumes out, and don't get a call back, and you're quitting. It's like no, you have to keep planting seeds all the time, and that's just a
All the time.
mindset that in this world you have to have it. So I agree with you that certainly being willing to go through that rejection and every rejection, it's next. I was taught this a long time ago. It's like it's not a no, it's a next until you get to the opportunities that you want.
But the other thing that I've learned throughout the
Mm.
years is sometimes it's no, and that's okay. No is no. But
Mm.
sometimes you can go back, with another
Mm.
angle. You
Mm.
cannot be afraid to ask again in a different way.
That's a good one. Yeah.
but one thing I always say and I respect about the business and it motivates me, no could be motivation. It can push you harder. So you keep going back and trying till you get the final yes. To me, that's motivation. Personally, I see it
Yes,
as
absolutely.
experiment.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Because you want to find a way in. I always say if you can't get in through the front door, then you try the side door, you try the basement, you try the roof, you try every possible way to get in.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
what inspired you to become an actor, then slowly into directing? What is the connection there?
Well, I grew up in Paris, in France, and I was an avid reader when I was a child. I would go to the
Mm.
library. My dad opened the very first, I always say this because, well, first of all, it's my legacy. He opened the very first William Morris agency in
Oh
Paris,
wow.
in
Yeah.
off the Champs Elysees. So when I was a little girl, I was certainly daddy's little girl, and he'd take me to work, and I would play under his desk. And I was privy to all these huge stars that would come in and talk about their dreams and talk about their careers. And I think, some of it, I'm sure, seeped in. So my dad, after that, after a decade, left the William Morris and went on
Hmm.
his own and created a lot of things. He did Frazier, Foreman, Muhammad Ali, the championship fights in
Wow.
Zaire, and
Right.
Jamaica.
Right. Oh man. Yeah.
Globetrotters. We toured with them. He did tours with Sammy Davis. I mean, he did tons of different shows. And as I grew up into a teenager, I started to help him and work with him. So I had this whole upbringing in Europe, which was a great upbringing. And I think, some of it, and I wanted to tell stories. I mean, always at the core of everything is a joy and a desire to tell stories that you feel are important and that need to be
Right.
told. Um,
Right.
and so I'm here in Hawaii, and yesterday we were in a taxi cab, and he started to tell us the story, of his wife, the wife that did one of those tests, the 23, and found out what her
Oh yeah.
heritage
Yeah.
really was. And it was
Right.
really interesting. He told us this whole
Right.
story. I just love hearing people's stories, and that
Yeah.
creates a desire to want to tell them either on stage or on film.
Right, right, right.
Funny you
What do
said
you
that.
enjoy more? Because I read your background. You have done a lot of stage work, as well as movies and whatnot. What do you enjoy more in terms of, or maybe what's harder? Was more nervous between like doing a movie and a theater type of production?
Well, they're completely different mediums, and I enjoy
Right.
equally both of them.
Mm,
And I find that not one of them is easier than the other. They're
right.
both
Right.
difficult. They both have
Right.
their challenges. Um,
Right.
but I always say to people, the only reason to go into show business is because you absolutely have to. There's nothing else that you can do with your life. Because
Mm,
if not, you could do other things that maybe, because there's a lot of
right. Right.
discomfort
Right.
attached to it. It's not something
Right.
that's stable. You don't know, what the next thing is that you're going to do. You have to stay flexible.
Right, right.
Mm.
So, was your father or your parents in general, when you expressed interest in wanting to get in? I know as a child, you went to all the shows and productions and things like that. But when you started to express interest, did they really like back you up, or did they try to say, "Hey, get into a more stable kind of job or career"? When it's weird, it's one thing you're in it. Now I have daughters myself, so it's like one thing I'm doing something, but for them to do what I do sometimes it's a little different perspective. So were your parents very encouraging in your pursuit of a career?
I did. I had very, very supportive parents, and they really let me find my way. I mean, the only thing is that I would say that they were not the kinds of parents that would guide me. Not like I have two kids, and I'm more of a parent that goes, oh, let's go this way, let's try this. They
Yeah,
let me find whatever way. I mean, I don't know what's better, what's not, but they let me find my way, and whatever my way was, they supported it.
yeah,
They
that's
were
great.
never judgmental of it, and I had great parents. I mean, the only thing is, it was the '70s, and they fought a lot, and they had their own,
Mm,
their own
yeah,
stuff.
right.
But I always say that to be an artist, I mean, if everything is, vanilla and candles and flowers, then maybe that's not the most
I was about to
conducive
say it.
to an artist.
I was in the same some with these athletes. Like I'm a big fight fan, like boxers and whatnot. It's like you gotta kind of have something in the tank, some stress, something. If everything's perfect, it's hard to be a fighter. It's hard to be sometimes even creatives. That I've read bios of different people and whatnot. They don't come necessarily from the best, but they had this either gift or talent, and they were just able to pursue it. But uh, I guess life in general, like the human struggle in life, sometimes that could be a major driver in the creative process. And when people can like feel, not just see your work, but feel it because it's coming, you're taking your background and you're kind of sharing it with everybody. So I agree. I think you need to have a little fire in the belly that comes from some adversity or struggle or what have you for people to really kind of embrace your art and or your skills or what you're bringing to people.
I love that those words, the fire in the belly. I love what it
Yeah,
conjured. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So
So go ahead.
go ahead. You might go. So I remember reading about you have your own acting school. Is that correct?
Yes, I have a school that has programs, the Los Angeles
Mhm.
Acting Conservatory. It's a conservatory program where people come and study from all over the world. They have a 1 year or 2 year, and they get degrees in acting and filmmaking. And also, I have the Michelle Denner Acting Studio. If somebody would just wants to come and study for 8 weeks and take an on-camera class, um, or a scene study class. So, yeah, it's in Culver City.
Mm.
And if you drive from west to east, it says, you can't make art without heart. And if you drive the other direction, I had a mural
Okay.
paint, you can't spell heart without art. I think it reflects our philosophy, what we're about. But we have a great community of artists, emerging artists, up and coming artists, that I know that I met some of my best friends in when I took acting class. And I'm still
Mm.
friends with them to this day, and I'm creative with them to this day. So you can't
That's great.
underestimate the relationships that you create while you take classes and you're learning the craft of acting.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
question I want to follow up with that is, obviously, I found it very fascinating you open your own school, but what are the challenges in opening the process of opening a school? It can be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to open it. Doom, there it goes. Everything you do in life is a challenge, I believe. Obviously, this has to be some kind of challenge.
It's a challenge and a progression. I remember it seemed like I've made all my important decisions on the beach. So I was on the beach one day, and that came about, and that happened. And it's just also, I remember I studied with Stella Adler, an iconic teacher, and she talked about
Mm.
passing it down, that it's, a mandate, it's a
Mm.
duty. And so I studied with her, and I studied with Uta Hagen, another iconic teacher, and Herbert Bergdorf. And I studied with some great teachers. And I
Right.
think that, there is a desire. Yeah. I see I've lost a little connection here. Maybe that's me.
I think we got you back. I think we got you
Yeah,
back.
you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, you have to, empower the next generation of actors.
Y- Yeah.
I totally
Now
agree
it's
on that.
interesting. You mentioned, in fact, this is going to be. You just led me perfectly into my next question. This idea you've studied with some of the greats in terms of teachers and instructors, but you've been able to formulate your own system, this golden box of techniques that I read in your bio, and again, it's so relatable to like both Peter and I. We have, if not, he's a master in the martial arts compared to me, but I've studied it to an extent, and I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. And Bruce, he was like really big on, yeah, you're gonna learn all these disciplines from these people. Like there's like a set thing, but you have to find your own thing. You can't be Adler or Bergdorf or whatever. You have to find what works for you and how you decide to pass on that information to the next generation. It could be very different. So talk about that. The fact that you've studied under these legendary people, but you found your own way of passing that on. So talk about your golden box techniques and how did that come about, and how that helps people.
Well, because studying, with Stella and with Uda and all the great teachers I've studied with, a lot of them tended, well, obviously, to be very opinionated. I mean, you have to be as an
Mm.
artist, but also at
Mm.
times dogmatic. And I always
Mm.
questioned it in my rebellious mind. I always say, well,
Mm.
wait a minute. Only use this or only use that? What if I did this or what if I did that? So I questioned everything. And I thought, and especially for the actor today, it's not enough to say I've studied the method or I've studied the Meisner technique or I studied Stella. It's really about understanding all the different techniques and finding out, since
Mm.
everybody's unique, it's not
Yeah.
this craft where everybody come to the middle and be the same. It doesn't
Right.
work like that. It doesn't have that
Right.
herd mentality. Everybody's unique, so everybody has to understand how they work, how their instrument works. And from
Right.
medium to medium, like we talked about, if it's on stage or on film, or if the part requires something different, more research, going more of the extra mile, and to understand what is needed. And so, to that end, I've developed a technique called the Golden Box, which is the actor's very unique toolbox where they put in insights that work for them, specifically for them, and they swap them sometimes depending on when they are in their lives and what's happening
Right.
and the process that they're in. So I talk about embracing every technique. I remember there was a time where in New York, I don't think I was born then, but all the actors would walk around New York City pulling their hair out, and because Stella used to say one thing and Lee Strasberg said something completely
Yeah.
different. We had
Yeah.
both gone to Paris to study with Stanislavski and to have conversations with him. And then Bobby Lewis wrote this book, Method or Madness, with a series of lectures trying to enlighten actors and unconfuse them. But the truth of the matter is that everybody is right in their own way.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta use, sometimes you got to use that, but no one is the same. So you have to find out specifically what is going to work for you. What can
Yeah.
you use with your
Yeah.
imagination, your personal life, with your senses, and draw upon that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's like Bruce Lee, like 101. Like I see like the philosophy and everything. Absorb to say, I think absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, but make what's essential to your own. This whole idea of you crafting, coming from your experience and you forming something that really works for you, and not just like you said, not
That's
being
right.
boxed in or dogmatic or religion or anything, but it happens like in your spiritual walk, your spiritual journeys. I mean, you could learn all different types of philosophies and whatnot, but you have to adopt what works for you and how you see the world. So it's just amazing just how universal just that principle is. Yes, we all need foundations and roots, but branches grow off of that, and they may not always grow in the same direction or the same way as others. So you have to allow for that. So it's just great that you allow your students to, through this golden box, basically find themselves, find their voices and what works for them. So I'm sure they're very appreciative of that.
Exactly. That's right. And
Absolutely.
everybody
I
comes from different backgrounds. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I personally watched when DVD era I'm talking about too, and Blu-ray with behind the scenes and director America, and you
Yeah.
hear some of the directors saying like, "I had to scream at this person to make him cry." I'm like, that's kind of harsh, but you get the job done, I guess. But sometimes you got to pull some crazy cards to make some things work.
Hmm.
And this follows in my next question: is you're an actor. What made you decide to say, you know what, I want to be behind the camera now. I want to be director instead.
But I think for anybody that becomes a director, they want to be able to sign the painting. They want to be able to stamp their signature. If you go, there's this saying that says that if you're an actor and you're doing a play, the last day of rehearsal, the dress rehearsal, the director says it's yours. The play is yours. You take it. You have control.
Mhm.
When you are on set and it's the last day and you're wrapping, it's a wrap. You don't have any more control. And so if you want to sign the painting, then you need to become the director.
Right.
If the great thing about being an actor is you pick the directors you want to work with, and you work with directors that you feel you're going to grow from and are going to do a good job. And so when you're an actor, you can go make 4 or 5, 2 movies a year. When you're a
Mhm.
director, you have to stay with the work at the minimum that it would take you, and that's if you work fast would be 1 year,
Mhm.
but usually it's a few years of a commitment to the project. But that was a long-winded way of saying that you have more control over the story if you're directing it. And if you're doing
Gotcha.
theater, the actor has, the reins.
Right, right. So how do you balance between, to Peter's point, we watched different movies and the behind the scenes and whatnot, and we see like some actors ad lib. Like you as a director and producer, you're writing the stories of these movies. You certainly have a way you want things to go. But then sometimes actors are oftentimes given the liberties to ad lib or to take it in another direction. So how do you balance that? Because yes, I have this vision of how I want the movie, but I have these amazing actors and actresses that they have a way of doing things. How do you harmonize that so that it doesn't necessarily becomes contentious or what have you? If it does in your case, but I've heard of just other actors and directors having conceptual idea confrontations over how something should be done in the film? How do you avoid some of that?
Very easily. I let them do whatever they want to do. And
Nice.
I just go, this one's for you. And then if I don't have exact, and then that could lead to something just great. So I stay
Right.
open. But then
Right.
if I don't have it, I never leave a scene until I don't feel that I have it. And so
Mm.
if I want something a certain way, then I let them do their thing. And then I go up to them and say, now, can you do this, please, this way? And usually I really don't have a problem.
That's
I
right.
need this.
Yeah.
I look at them and I say,
Yeah.
this is what I need. And I
Right.
get it.
Right.
I mean,
The part
That's right.
I'm not saying that there can't be any creative differences. I have worked with actors that have been pains in the asses. That has happened. There's,
Hmm.
and I try as much as possible to accommodate an actor so that they feel safe and they feel like they can try things. And usually the feedback that I get from all the actors that I work with is that I give them the freedom to risk and to try
Hmm.
things. I think that's where you get the best performances. But
Right.
also, the director has to have a vision. If not, why are you directing this?
That's
So
right.
you have to have
That's
an
right.
idea. And so if you don't want to be in the editing room and go, oh, I wish I had said this, I wish I had said that. No, you need to say it. You need to express yourself very clearly and communicate, and also explain to an actor that you want choices. You want, a palette of colors when you're in the editing room. You want to be able to
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah. That is
The
great.
part of the business that I never understood, and maybe you can clarify when it comes to you get a script, how do they pick who's going to be the director of that movie? Is there a process? Do you pick? Is it an interview process? How does that work?
It depends. I have been a hired director on several
Hmm.
projects. People have come to me and they've interviewed other people and then have come back to me. You have to just
Hmm.
lay out your vision of how you would do it.
Hmm.
Or I've originated projects where I had the idea for this story and I, teamed up with a writer and wrote it. So it goes both ways. But if somebody comes to you and they say, I'd like for you to direct this, but you have to tell me how you're going to do it, then you have to have, a strong opinion on how you
Yeah.
would do it. Because there's nothing like a weak captain of the ship. There's
Yeah.
nothing like somebody, and there are a lot of directors that don't know, and they're a little wishy-washy, and and
Right.
and that can also turn out into a great product too. I think if everybody
Right.
had the formula that would make a great movie, then everybody would have that formula. But there's many
Right.
different formulas. Um, but as much as possible, I think everybody needs to be passionate about the story and come on board and tell the story together as a team.
Right. Right. Now, is the main deliverable in that process, is it the script that you kind of sell or fall in love with, or is it just like the general outlines or conceptions or whatnot? Because I've heard some people say like I got to see the script, and that's where they find either their place in it. Either I can direct this or I can act this role or whatever. But it seems like the script just seems to be the
Well,
main
the
thing that
script
really
is the
drives
first
everything.
step. Yeah, it's the
Mm.
first step. If you go out to agents or talent and you don't have the script yet, it's not ready
Mm.
yet, then, it's a problem because people have computers and they cover the script in the different agencies. And then it's hard after that. If
Right.
people have covered it as mediocre, it's hard to go, oh, no, I did a rewrite. It's so much better now.
Mm.
Can you
Yeah.
show it to your client? And a lot of agents don't show scripts to their clients either.
Mm.
It depends. So, but the script is the first step. And then, of course, it's always cast contingent, depending on what kind of budget you're going to be able to get. It
Yeah.
depends, the cast. I mean, if you look at this movie, Project Hail Mary, if Ryan Gosling hadn't fallen in love with
Mhm.
it and, read the
Yeah.
book and decided he
Right.
was going to bring it to the studio. And, so it's always who's going to get behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Has there ever been, and I've read and watched interviews with different creative people. It could be musicians, it could be directors or whatnot. A lot of times, what they're known for isn't necessarily their best. What they believe is their best work. It's like 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 music artists or whatnot, and like whatever made it to the pop charts or whatever, the most record sales, doesn't mean it
Right.
was like their favorite work. Something else which they wished would have been more because they put more themselves in it would have been better. Is there a project like that for you that you really was like really proud of this film, but maybe it didn't get necessarily the reception that you wanted? And I know certainly some of your films have gotten critical acclaim, but are there any projects like that you wished people would know you more for this than for that?
Um, you know, there was a movie that I did with Norman Reedus called Hello Herman, and
Mm.
it was about school shootings.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I was reading it. Yeah.
and people were like, "Well, we wanted answers in that movie. We did not just want you to pose the question. We wanted solutions." Well,
Mm.
here we are. I made that movie, I think over 10 years ago or 12 years ago, and there's still no solutions. So that frustrated me that people thought that I could give them answers to a
Mm.
problem that, yeah, well, get rid of guns and then we'll have less school shootings.
Mm.
But that's not what,
Right.
this is, it's not going to happen. Um,
Right.
so that was something that's a project that I put my heart and soul into. And Norman Reedus was great in it. Um, and that, people that I felt, didn't get it. They didn't get that, the questions were posed as opposed to the answers.
Right. Right.
And
Gotcha.
mostly, I've done movies. Listen, I've had different budgets, different size budgets. Um, I've worked with different people. I was hired to do a movie which shall remain nameless, and they ran out of funds. So I
Mm.
wasn't able to finish the sound design and the visual effects on it.
Mm.
That was
Right.
incredibly frustrating. But you
Yeah.
can't explain that to people. It didn't. It got good reviews, but um, I know what it could have been. Um, so you always have stories like this, and then
Yeah.
you have movies where you had final cut, like Miranda's Victim, which I had a great
Oh.
experience on. It was,
Yeah.
I had the honor of working with Donald Sutherland, and in that movie, I had final cut. I had the creative freedom to
Yeah.
say it the way and do it the way that I wanted to do it. And
Yeah.
of course, every experience that happens from here and on, I would like for it to be just as good as that,
Yeah. Yeah. Just speaking of that film, I was watching a trailer this afternoon. I was like, I gotta watch this weekend because you're talking
Yeah,
about one of the biggest. I mean, you talk about the major cases. If you would like to put like the top Supreme Court cases ever, and that Miranda case is up there. It's right up there with Brown v. Board of Education, Oberfeld Hodges, Browder versus Gale. I mean, all these historic cases that really shaped our society, how it works. I mean, the justice system, law enforcement, and whatnot. It was such a big thing. And just in the trailer, like there were things I didn't know about. You hear about it, you hear like Miranda rights and whatnot, but not really researching it. So just watching the trailer made me think I got to watch this movie this weekend because it looks
nobody
like an
knew the
incredible story.
story. Yeah, it was an incredible story. Nobody knew it, and George Colbert is the one that discovered it. He's the one at home at COVID. He said, "Well, how did the Miranda rights came about?" And it had
Hmm.
never been told, not through a Law and Order, or not through a miniseries or a
Right.
documentary. Because the person that it happened to decided for the first time that she would tell her story, so she gave the rights to tell the story, and it was how the Miranda rights came about.
Hmm.
So it's something, it's a gap that we've had in American
Yeah.
history. Nobody told that
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm definitely and folks who are watching again, look up Miranda's Victim. Came out in 2023. Look for Michelle Danner. Like I said, trailer looks incredible, and I'm definitely, like I said, that's definitely on my weekend watch list, and so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Well, I know what I'm doing on Sunday now, young lady. Thank you for keeping us busy.
Nah, I was like, this looks fire when I looked at the trailer.
No, it
Now,
looks good. I'm looking at it right now, and
yeah,
I'm like,
look,
this is my go-to kind of movies, and I don't know how I missed this out of my radar. So
yeah.
I'm
So
definitely
it
gonna
definitely
be
looks,
watching this.
yeah,
When they
So
approached me to direct it, I have gotten so much shit in my life from my sisters and my family because I always have loved every crime story. I've looked at every
mm,
forensic
mm,
crime. files and Datelines and 48 Hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And he says, "Oh, one of those again. She's watching one of those stories again." And so when they came to me with this Miranda's Victim, I thought, oh, they must know that this is my thing.
That's-
This is
My
what I'm
wife is the
into.
same way. She watches every episode, every version of Law and Order, special SVU, every and she gets real squeamish when it comes to like blood or whatever. But these forensic shows, especially, she watches all of it. It's like, how do you not you watch on TV, but if just the even sight of blood, like taking a drawing blood, you want to pass out or whatnot. But she just is all into that stuff. So yeah, it's she pulls me in a lot of times too.
The question I have
So
for you, and this might sound, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
It might be sound a silly question, but when it comes to the trailer, do you as a director have say how the trailers need to come out, or is this a different team that works on that?
Well, this I did. I did work on the trailer with my editor, and Vertical distributed the movie, and they redid the trailer, but
Mm.
it was very close to what we did. And it's always interesting for somebody to come in with a different perspective, and I think they enhanced it. I think they made it better. But the bones of the trailer, a lot of it was something that we had come up with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's great. That's great. Now, interesting after this one. So this came out. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So as a filmmaker, as much as possible, you want to be able to have a say in how the movie is being marketed, because
Yeah.
it's the degree to which people are going to watch it or not. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Now it was just to after this came out 23. Now in 25, you switch over. You do this comedy, the Italians. So it's so one taking a spin there. Talk about that one, but then at the same time, and I was just reading in your bio, you've done like a variety of different things. Like there's not one particular genre or type of storytelling that you like to tell or whatever. You've kind of done, just different types of films and whatnot. So you're not boxing yourself in that, you like dramas or comedies or things like that, but you seem to have a range of different, different storytelling or projects that you want to take on. So talk about the Italians, because it kind of reminds me of like Meet the Parents or My Big Fat Greek Wedding or whatever. It kind of has that kind of vibe
It's
to
funny
it.
you said that, Paul, because
Yeah.
one of the actors who plays in the movie plays in My Factory Wedding.
Oh yeah, the mother in the matron in yeah.
Lady Kazan, who
Yeah.
brings down the house with every single scene that she's in. Um, my mother, there's a spoiler here. At the end of the Italians, there's a card that comes up, and it says, "For my mother, Loredana," which is, so
Okay.
it was no longer on earth when I made the movie, but in a way, while I was shooting it, I felt so close to her. I would conjure her up all the time. Now, my mother was, she had strong personality, and she would say to me, saved drama for the stage, oh, you're so dramatic. And you would think that because of it, I would love to direct more dramas than comedies. But lately, I've been doing a lot of romantic comedies and comedies. And,
Yeah.
and yeah, The Italians is what happens to this Italian American couple who gets to meet their son's girlfriend, their only son, I should say,
Right.
played by Matthew
Right.
Daddario, girlfriend played by Abigail Breslin, who was Miranda's victim, for the first
Okay.
time. And Rob Estes and myself did a play in LA, God, a long time ago, about 30 years ago, The Rose Tattoo by Tennessee Williams. At the time,
Okay.
he was on Melrose Place. So it was like the hot play in LA. We were sold out every night. There would be limos in front of the theater. The cast comprised of 21 people and a goat. And we ran for almost a year because we got great reviews and we got awards. And so when, this story came up with the Italians, I thought of Rob and I called him up and he said yes. And so some of that rose tattoo is in this. And of course, you mentioned Lady Kazan, who is so funny. And
Phenomenal.
the movie did the festival circuit and got some really good reviews. And it's a really fun movie. It's a little autobiographical. It's the character is an amalgamation. The character that I play is an amalgamation of my mother, my grandmother, my sisters. But But and I loved working with this incredible cast that I have. Perry Reeves, who plays Mrs. Ari on Entourage, is in it.
Oh yeah,
David
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Olivia Lucardi is in it, a wonderful actress.
Mm.
And then, of course, I mentioned Matthew Daddario. And I just shot in November a romantic comedy in LA called Starstruck, and
Hmm.
Matthew is the lead in it, and he's
Okay.
beyond incredible in it.
Right. Right. So also what you're pointing out there is it's almost like it's a um, you don't just as an actor you don't just think about the one project. Like there's connections. It's and you talked about earlier about relationships, networking. One how you do on one film. You could easily get cast. I mean, if you have a good relationship with the director, you can get cast for another one. So again, how you are able to not only find work, which I would think is the hardest thing as an actor, but how do you keep working? How do you keep sharp and staying in and taking on things all the time? That's also seems like from what you're saying, it's like a part of the process as well. That definitely seems to be a network of actors that you can always kind of call on and be like, hey, I got another film, and the person's like, yep, sign me up for it.
I do that all the time. I believe in a theater company on film. I did a movie,
Mm.
I think it was 14 years ago, called The Bandit Hound with dogs and kids. Judd Nelson was in it. Lou
Oh yeah,
Ferrigno. You
Louis.
had
Yes.
Vern Troyer. So you had a very hilarious scene in it with the original Hulk, Lou
Mm.
Ferrigno and Vern Troyer,
Yeah,
Mini
yeah,
Me, and Catherine Bell was in. And I
oh yeah,
love the
from
actress Catherine Bell.
yeah
Um,
from Jag. Yeah.
so I was looking for somebody to play a character like the Devil Wears Prada, the Meryl Streep character, and I called
Hmm.
Catherine. And Karen's like, I'll come and I'll do it. And it was a great scene, and she's great in it. I'm talking about Starstruck, the last movie I'm in the editing room with.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I love actors. I have such an incredible, you know, pool group of actors that I respect so much that I
Yeah.
can call. Andy Garcia, for instance, is an actor that was a Miranda's victim, and I was
Hmm.
asked to go shoot a movie in Italy called Under the Stars, another romantic comedy, and he came and he's so gracious and so
Hmm.
lovely. Toni Collette was in it, and Eva Di Domenici, this wonderful actress from The Cleaning
Yeah.
Lady, and um, oh God, I'm blanking. Alex Pettifer was in it, and I work a lot with the Rob Estes, who also came to Italy to do it, and
Hmm.
um,
Right.
I love calling actors that I respect and love their work, and so they can show the range of their talent.
Right. Right.
It's funny you
And
said that
yeah.
because I see from one movie you made, the manner of rights, and then you go into the town, you have one young lady, you have her back to back worked with her, and
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, is that current shit or you just answered the question
Nah, it's
yourself?
just it's like anything
Like
else. It's yeah.
yo, going back to work, get over here.
Yeah.
When you finish a movie and you have such a good time with a group of actors that you've come and join the family of that story, the immediate instinct is to want to call them again right away. Come do
Yeah.
something else.
Exactly.
Do something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. And that's also a testament to because I got a feeling that it's like the director you set again, I'm a big sports guy, so they always talk about culture, right? Like a new coach comes to a team, the first thing that they have to do is they have to set the culture of the team and what the expectations are and the environment that you want to buy in. So I would think you as the director, one of your primary roles, in addition to all of the technical things that involve script and lights and sets and everything, the culture of the environment that you cultivate on the set, and then like you said, the people who then want to work with you on the next film, or you can call on people and be like, yeah, because
Right.
of the culture that you create. So it seems like being a director is it's more than just the technical; it's the relational part that you help
Oh
to
yeah.
foster and develop, and that. So talk about that. How do you do that? How do you keep all these people of strong personalities and opinions, everything? How do you keep everybody together?
Well, I do like to work with the same people. So I work a lot with the same directors of photography. My editor has been with me for the last 5 movies. My production designer, my costume designer. I do like working my producers, and everybody is happy to see each other, and they're happy to
Mm,
be creative creative together. This
Right.
last movie that we did, Billy Zane was in it. And
Oh
after
wow.
he was done, we wrapped his part. He looked at us and goes, I like this thing you guys have going on here.
Yeah.
We have,
Yeah.
solidarity. And he got it. He got what we have. Um, I try and work with people that are wonderfully creative, artistic, and
Mm.
not difficult to work with. Um,
Mm.
because there's no time. You have to try and make the day. You're trying to make magic, miracles happen in a short amount of time. And there's always obstacles, always. Like I say,
Right.
filmmaking is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
always, there's always going to be stuff.
Right.
So you have personalities that are, of course, strong. They should be strong because creators, artists are strong, but
Mm.
also flexible and be able to accommodate. And so, I found a group. I have such a great group of artists, and that's why we want to go from one project to the next together and be creative
Yeah.
together. Now, sometimes, the story, the project takes you to different parts of the world,
Yeah.
in which case sometimes you have to go locally and hire locally. But as much as possible, you bring the team that you adore with you.
Right. Right. Now, what about things like food, for example? Right. You want to get everybody together. Is there like a big meal, home cooked meal, that kind of like, do you, that kind of family type of environment? Do you guys get a chance to do like things like that on set, or music, type of music that's playing on the set? Like, what I'm saying? Just that kind of different vibe. That's just not just, it's not just
I,
work, but like you said, it feels like a family.
we have done a variety of different things with people. We cater to, whatever dietary needs are. I try as much as possible to do organic food on set.
Mm.
Um, the Hello Herman movie, in between breaks, we all played poker. Um,
That's what, yeah, that's what the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Yeah.
we were poker players. Um, the everybody is, you create that family for that time. That's how you meet people, and you start a
Mhm.
Rolodex of people that are um, that you like their work, the way they work, and people recommend people all the time. My
Yeah.
my sets are very conducive to having fun, because if not, what's the point?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I
No
totally
doubt.
agree on that. And like, I know we go to New York Comic Con almost yearly, and one thing with meeting a bunch of actors, the most engaged actors always having fun. They're happy. And I met some is actors like, yeah, I'm never meeting you again, but that hours in any business. So it goes to the last question I have for you for tonight is, if your career didn't take off this way, which way would you think you were going instead? Because your career could
Ooh.
go
um,
either way.
well, I think that I will always teach. I think that
Mhm.
a teacher was what, passing down the information that I have.
Mm.
For as long as I can find money to make the movies that I want to make, I'll continue to do that. I should also say that I work with my son, who graduated from USC in film and theater, and he
Oh
just
wow.
wrote a script, a horror movie that I'm
Oh,
going to, be by his side and work with him on.
well, that'll be a
So,
challenge. That'll be a new thing. A horror film.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have
Wow.
seen in the last 5 years every horror movie you can imagine at the movie theater. Um,
Yeah.
and it's not my favorite genre, by the way, but it is a genre that I respect. And
Yeah.
um, and so, for as long as, listen, I'm creative. I'm an artist. I don't think artists never quit. They never retire.
Mm.
Judy Dench said, I would die in the theater, but if it wasn't for the fact that I love my family. You
Yeah.
you just keep going, and that's what I see. I see a constant, replenishing of stories that need to be told.
That is great. Two more questions for me to round up, and you kind of let in again. Um, to do everything that you're doing, right? Acting, directing, teaching. You have the conservatory, but you also have two sons and being a mom. And how were you able to do all of that, together? How are you able to keep your family going, and want to talk about that aspect of all that stuff going on, but you're still holding your family. Again, I got three daughters of my own. They're all grown now as well, and just keeping my family tight, especially at their ages now. My youngest is 23, and so keeping everybody kind of tight. They're all kind of finding themselves a little bit, and you realize they need some of their own space. But how were you able to do all those things and yet keep that family going?
I think that I had great mentors in terms of that. My dad traveled a lot and he was always very busy, but he always knew the questions to ask. He always knew, so how did you do on that test?
Mm.
What happened here? What happened there? What happened with their friend? He was just very involved. And my
Mm.
mother was involved in a different way. She was more enmeshed with zero boundaries. But regardless, what I felt was love from
Mm.
both parents. There's only one word, and it's love. And as long as the love is there and it's pure, it prevails.
Yeah.
And so, I'm very lucky. I snatched my son upon him graduating USC. So we worked together in the production company. And my other son is more interested in business, but he
Mm.
helps out too. I have a son that's 16, another one that's 23.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and I'm very close to them. I'm just really close. I'm really involved with what's happening with them. And, and we're a very close family, regardless. My other part of my family, I'm very close with my sisters. I work with my
Mm.
sisters. I work with my best friends.
Mm.
There's a whole family, and I think ultimately, what always, keeps you together, is how much you love each other. And
Yeah.
so it's not that complicated. And sometimes love is too much, and it's too enmeshed, and it's too close. But better
Yeah.
love than no love. Better that than
Yeah. Yeah.
indifference.
Like I
And a
said, I'm
lot
realizing it now. Like I said, my three daughters, they get on each other's nerves. So they're so different. Also, I mean, it's like like personality wise, you saw it early, and now they're at an age now. One of my daughters, she's actually away in medical school right now, so that kind of allowed them to breathe. But when they're all three of them in the house at the same time, it was like really. You can kind of see the tension. So sometimes love means sometimes getting away for each other a little bit also. So it's the absence
Listen,
make the heart grow
my
fonder. You
in
know.
my house, you didn't know when the spaghetti was going to fly at the dinner table, but you were assured that it was going to happen. At a certain
Yeah.
point, the bomb was going to explode. But
Yeah.
then, when they say blood is thicker, you
Yeah.
explode one moment and then you hug the next. And that was our family. And that's the sentiment that's into the movie, The Italians.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what's in that. And that the
So
movie has heart.
would you say, people always say don't work with family is a bad idea? Would you disagree with that statement?
Well, I mean, it depends it depends. I know people that have worked with family become a horror movie. So I think there has to be some degree of respect,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if not, you kill each other. Uh,
Yeah. That's right.
so it depends which family. With
Right.
my family, we get into it. We had a restaurant at one point, Cafe Michel in the Village in New York
Oh
City on
wow.
Bleecker Street. Let me tell you, uh, stuff flew in that kitchen.
Yeah.
That is for
Wow.
sure. We had some major, big fights because we all have very strong personalities. But like
Mm.
ultimately, here we are. This happened like 30 years ago. Here we are years later, and we make movies together. And yeah, we fight it out, and then we make up, and we work. I mean, there's nobody like your family that's going to have your back. That's for
That's
I
true.
sure.
agree 100%.
And that's how I
100%.
tell my
You're
and I tell my
talking.
yeah, tell my daughters that all the time. So look, yeah, at the end of the day, friends may come and go, but that's you guys are you all you got. So
Yeah.
so again, I get your personalities and whatnot, but figure out no one's gonna love you more, no one's gonna have you back more than your siblings and your mom and mother and father. So that's what
That's
I'm planting those seeds. I'm hoping it's gonna come up in a few more years. Hopefully, it comes up because sometimes, like I said, we get some duties around here sometimes, and we just try to.
In my case, I'm a single only child, and I don't have any brothers or sisters around here or cousin. Well, I'm getting my Greek mother. Oh, she knows how to hit that nerve. I'm like, I'm walking away. I'm not gonna argue with her. And she hits a little bullseye. I'm
A little too
like you
too
see me
close.
doing a 360. I'm like, and now I'm also a chef on top of that. Greek and a
Oh,
chef
wow.
combination is not a good combination, and you sure know this by now. You're in a restaurant business, but we do want to
Wow,
respect your time.
absolutely,
The last few minutes, floor is yours. You can plug in anything you like to
indeed.
like. You want to leave a message for future viewers? It's up to you. The floor is yours.
Oh, for me?
Yeah,
For you,
yeah,
all for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks.
yeah.
well, listen, I was watching this interview, this eulogy that was given about Robert Redford when he died.
Mm,
And it's online, I'm sure to be found. And Robert Redford, the last words apparently were, you know, stay brave, be kind, do art. Something I'm
mhm,
paraphrasing it. But
right.
that really resonated with me, you know. I mean, he was such an incredible creative force, and to keep being brave, to keep going and doing your art, and be kind. That really spoke to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, we want to thank you once again for spending some time with us, especially from Hawaii. I mean, yeah, I like I said, rain. I'll be running and swimming in the rain also. I mean, just get out of this Jersey. I'm looking at it,
Something
it's
different.
30
Yeah.
38 degrees right now, and it's just like, when is this winter kind of thing going to be over? I can't stand it. But we really want to thank you for just spending some time with us, and definitely all the best with your future projects and whatnot. Definitely gonna be following you from now on. And I'm definitely said this weekend again, the Miranda's victim
Mhm.
this
On my
weekend.
list.
That is definitely, we're gonna check that out. And we may talk. We have a show on Sunday. And so we may even do like a review on it and talk about it and whatnot. Because like I said, I'm a big
Thank
history
you.
buff, and certainly cases like this one, again, you take for granted because you hear it all the time. And I'm a sucker for watching all these arrest videos. People taken out of the airport and whatnot, and then read your Miranda rights. So I'm like, it's always there, but I never got to like what's behind it. So I definitely want to look at that. And again, I encourage certainly for our viewers tonight, make sure you definitely check that movie out, as well as I'll definitely add the Italian set of lists as well. And but Jen, just all the best to you, your family, and just your future projects. And as we like to tell people, when you really get big, when it's Oscar weekend and you're up or whatever, just remember us, and we'd love to have you back and to talk
Thank you
about that
very
as
much.
well.
And also, before I forget, like I gotta throw this little nugget out there myself. If you ever at New York Comic Con, make sure you holler at your boy here. Like we're gonna meet up, and get coffee or something. Like if you ever go to Comic Con,
Okay.
New York Comic Con,
Isn't that in
Absolutely,
October? It's in October, right?
I
October,
actually,
yeah.
as the show was going on, they just emailed me. It's going to be October 8th to 11th this year, because
My
you have to
son
do.
was mentioning it because he wants to go, so we might be there.
Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
Well, you
Yeah.
got
that'd
my
be
email.
great. That'd be great to meet you.
Yeah, throw me an email. We're going to meet up for coffee at least. But again, it
Okay,
was
great.
a pleasure and it's such an honor having you on. Thank you so
Absolutely,
Thank you
much.
very
absolutely.
much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
Appreciate you.
having me.
All right,
Thank you. Take
Yeah.
care.
all righty.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Wow,
Wow, that was fun.
that was
My palms are sweating, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, like I said, everything I was just looking at. It's like, wow, she is. I mean, busy. I mean, to juggle all of that and still is in the creative process of just doing. And I know the one thing that she talked about, just looking at her information, she talked about just as an actor. The one thing I really wanted to get to, I didn't get a chance. She talked about just, you have to just keep working. Like never stop working on your craft. Take roles, take opportunities on theater stages and movies, commercial. It doesn't matter like what it is. Like always be in the practice of acting. Like as far as if you think you're just gonna wait for the phone for the perfect script to show up, you're really kidding yourself. So again, don't thumb your nose up at any opportunity. Just take it on and keep shooting until if anything, you're just going to get better at your craft by doing it. So, certainly That points. But how many times have we? Shout out to Braxton Steak Fiend in the building as well, and that principle. That's what I was talking about earlier about Bruce Lee and whatnot. This whole idea of not being so locked into a certain way of doing things. All these again great philosophers or teachers of acting and whatnot, major schools, and they have major legacies and reputations, but you got to find your own style. You got to find your own way of kind of doing things. And the way,
if I'm cooking, like I tell my guys, like find your own style. Like I do, let's say salt and pepper, garlic, whatever. That's you. Same thing with martial arts. Like I like roundhouse kicks, back fist, whatever.
Yeah,
find your style.
Yeah, and it's got to be. I mean, look. I mean, we're as different body wise than anything. I mean, we're very different body types. If I tried to fight your style, or if I had a style and you tried to fight my, me, with my body type, we wouldn't. Neither one of us would be serving any good. I mean, you got to go with here I am. What can I do? What's most effective for me and my body type and whatnot? My range, my reach, my weight. All those things have to be there. So again, I'm glad that her approach to teaching acting is very similar to that. But like I said, I see essentially Jeet Kune Do. I see it in everything. Even in training, when I'm training people, I have a certain way I want you to do things, but at the same time, I gotta treat you as an individual. I can't just put you in a box and say, okay, these are the type of results. Not all muscles respond the same way. Certain exercises work better for different people or whatnot. So again, I have to adapt also for the individual. So again, I just see that all the time, and it's just amazing that even in the acting space, the film directing space, and whatnot, those same principles are there. So it's definitely things to glean from, life lessons that really matter. So I'm hoping the show will be certainly picked up in the algorithm and played often. Guys, go back and watch this. But like I said, she was a big fish for us in terms of someone of that same the people, the actors and actresses that she's worked with over the years. So we got an A-lister, and definitely looking forward to more.
I gotta be honest, like let's show back behind doors what happens, because if it wasn't my buddy CQ who connected me with the agent, and the agent, me and her worked together for a little bit to find timing and all that, this would never happen. This wasn't like a couple emails or a couple phone calls.
No, this was, you were working on this for months. I mean, yeah, this was months in progress to do this.
And they're in a different time zone than me. Us, excuse me. Our different time zone than us. It was a lot behind it. Going back. You say, oh, it's just emails. It was a big deal. Like, you got to be on time. That boom.
She's 6 hours away. I mean, Hawaii, that's like 6 hours, right? I mean, that's. I'm
talking about her agent. You got to be on top of the agent correctly. And I got to give credit. I would never ever talk crap about any agent out there, because what they do is a lot behind the scenes, and they make sure what she's able to do is because her agent is working so hard for her.
That's right.
And I got her name was Lauren. Lauren, my hat off to you, young lady. And
absolutely.
Thank
you very much. Thank you very much.
So,
well, yeah, I mean, we can.
Yeah, I'm on
board. So, yeah,
right now.
I'm like I said, I'm definitely. Miranda's victim this weekend. Again, once we go check it out, maybe we can come back and have a review. Let's talk about it. Let's promote it, and certainly promote her and her work. And I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. So
yeah, but let's do a quick schedule update. Let's get out of here. We both have to work tomorrow, I think.
Yes,
at least I do.
No question.
I'm sorry.
No question. No question.
Yeah, let me get the schedule, because I wasn't prepared to put the schedule up. All right, so tomorrow we are having a wrestling talk. I know it's a week before WrestleMania, but we're going to have a little preview.
I thought it was this weekend. So you still a week out? Okay,
gotcha. I was wrong. I thought it was this week too. And when I looked, I was watching WrestleMania, some other stuff. Like, oh, it's next week. And I'm like, okay. Give us a little more time to prep to it, but we're definitely gonna have a little conversation on WrestleMania and some other things too. On Saturday, we're talking about Rainbow versus Punisher, and that will be a good one. And we are having a gray area. Remind me.
Yes, we're talking about again, nonprofit organizations.
Definitely. And on Tuesday, we're going to be going looks versus personality. What really wins the heart? And the rest of the week is free till then. So I know Paul and Trey will be coming up pretty soon, back soon. Sean, I got contact to see what's going on with him, but I'm pretty sure he's working hard to come back soon.
Yep.
But except that, guys, as always, this was Spartan SU Network. I am the Spartan. He is Mr. President. And again, like always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.